Hi Virgo, it's Denise with Divine Soul Astrology. Today I'm here to discuss the Scorpio Full Moon, which is happening May 1st at 5:23 Universal Time. And that will be at 10:23 a.m. here on the West Coast. So if you're on the West Coast, then very cool, right? So let's get into this here. But Virgo, the full moon is happening in your third house of communication and thinking. This is the house of the mind where we make decisions, plans and goals, the way we talk to people, things like that. And this, anything about learning, conversations, ideas, and willpower. Okay, so this is going to be for Virgo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And so Virgo, we have the full moon is going to be deeply transformative for everybody, right? And here we have you on the ascendant. If you'd like to, if you're looking at the chart, makes it a lot easier when I've moved it. Don't pay attention to these numbers here because when you move the ascendant or the sign, it changes things a little bit, but nothing major. No, good God, no. So here we have the full moon, and yeah, in your third house. This is also the house of siblings and early childhood, anything that's familiar or short distance trips. And when I say familiar, you went to the taqueria the same way, 40 times or 800, whatever it was. And that is the familiar, okay? So maybe there is something going on there for you, but there will be something in that area of your life in those third house themes. And the full moon is also called the flower moon because here in the Western Hemisphere, we're in spring, right? We definitely are. So, the full moon is deeply transformative to something in your life, and we'll talk more about, these transits that are also kind of part of this lunation. But Scorpio is concerned with depth and intensity, so whatever could be changing, it will be deep, most likely, or intense, or, highly changing, like a major transformation. The Scorpio full moon will illuminate also what lies beneath. So, that third house is about your thoughts. Maybe you're kind of recognizing something about the way you think, or maybe the way you thought about something could be as well. But this, the Scorpio full moon, it's also going to illuminate emotional honesty because Scorpio wants to, pull up the curtain and see what's really going on, right? And that's why they can be, it can be psychic. There can be maybe there is, the third house, not the third house, but Scorpio rules psychic ability, anything that is hidden, secrets, things that are hidden within that we didn't realize, especially in the third house of thinking. You might not have realized something. That's a possibility here. You're thinking a whole new way. It's a transformative, right? Could be. And also, the full moon will help us release old wounds to embrace regeneration and transformation and encourage us to balance material comfort with emotional depth. And why is that? Because the full moon is always in opposition, and here's the sun being opposed by the moon. The sun is in your ninth house of purpose. So whatever's going on here, it's important, right? The ninth house is where things are meaningful, can be what you want, your purpose in life, right? It's about expansion and growth. It's definitely meaningful. And the sun in the ninth house as well, in Taurus, but this ninth house is also about long distance travel. It can be your beliefs and your philosophy about life, faraway lands and culture and travel. Maybe, you want to do something like that. It is the house of teaching and publishing. And so the sun is in Taurus. So this is why they are asking, the full moon is asking us to balance material comfort because that's what Taurus represents, right? With emotional depth, and that is Scorpio really, and comfort and vulnerability. Scorpio can be vulnerable. It's an emotional sign, right? Um, and stability and surrender. All right. The sun in Taurus or Taurus is concerned with financial stability, finances, possessions, also self-worth and well-being. So there's, when we have the opposite signs with the full moon, it's always asking you to merge whatever is in, the sign of the sun and the sign of where the full moon is and the houses, right? So yeah, so let's talk about yours. We talked about it's in that third house. Um, It can also be the third house is the house of when we say the familiar, the neighborhood or community, right? And local community. But you could be having an intense conversation with someone. That can happen with that moon there, or intense thoughts about somebody or something that is related to your purpose or that is related to expansion and growth. And this may be, also related to these financial, themes because it's in Taurus, the sun, all right? Now, you could also experience psychic moments or psychic thoughts, which would be kind of where you feel, like that's sentience, clairsentience, or it can be like a mental. I think there's another one there too as well. Sentience is how you feel, but those thoughts, I can't think of it right now, but the actual term there, maybe you are experiencing like these psychic. It can be maybe psychic memories too. Wow, that's or memories of the memories that are related to, yeah, deep memories. You definitely could, right? Because remember that the third house is the place of the mind, right? It is. And so, and maybe this can be the deep mind because Scorpio is about depth, right? And so, yeah, you could just be understanding something that has been hidden in your psyche or hidden from you. It can be about secrets about somebody else as well. That's a possibility. But, Scorpio is about what's been hidden or what is hidden. And often it's psychological as well. Um, Although, secrets are kind of psychological, aren't they? When you like kind of uncover a secret about somebody, it's affecting your mind. So I would say it's psychological, right? Yeah, and so Mars is the ruler of the full moon, and it's ruling your eighth house of transformation. So here is Mars ruled by Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars is here, and Mars also rules your third house. So this makes it look like Virgos could be psychic over here with this moon in some Virgos are psychic for sure, with the moon in Scorpio there. Yeah. And so here we have, this is your eighth house of transformation, and that is connected to the full moon. So you're really going to feel this. I believe you are, all right? And in that ninth house of purpose where Mars is ruling, I mean the eighth house of transformation, I beg your pardon, where Mars is ruling, we have your natal Mercury. All right. And Mercury is important because it just is. It's a personal planet, and it, every month it, kind of makes its way, it stays in a sign for about a month. And so, yeah, and so we see Mercury there. Um, and so Mercury is, is conjoined with Chiron. So in your eighth house here, there's something that might be healing, that is related to, your deep mind or, something can be healing and transforming at the same time. And the eighth house is also associated with intimate partners, intimate partnerships. They can be business or romantic, they can. And also financial finances. So these houses are these signs, really, uh, these signs that are represented by Mars here, or the axis where the sun and the moon are, which is here, um, with the signs, we have Taurus where the sun is in, making the or a part of the opposition to the moon here in Scorpio. These are both money houses, so something could be shared wealth even. Scorpio is where your moon, where the full moon is. Scorpio is associated with shared wealth or joint finances, which can be anything, inheritance, taxes, the money you put together with a partner and business or whatever. But there's something going on there, and you have a major transformation here. You do because of that Mars in the eighth house ruling the full moon, right? Mercury is there, and Mercury is there in your eighth house, telling you that something needs to change or end, or letting you see something that maybe that was hidden, definitely could be. Um, and so Mercury is there. Mercury also rules your first house, of course, and it also rules your 10th house of career and how you show yourself to the world. So something could be changing with these eighth and these 10th house themes. Now that career is your social role, that house, the 10th house, and like status could marriage or divorce or could be their status is also means a lot of other things, right? You just got a master's degree, and before you were, I don't know, you were a teacher's aide, and now you're going to be a major psychologist. And no digs on teacher's aides, but a master's will will help you, right, will help you get to there. So there could be something about your career because Mercury's ruling that, and Mercury is in um, the sign that is under the rulership of Mars, the ruler of the full moon. Yeah. So let's see what else we have here for you. Yeah, Mars is in its own house in Aries, or its own sign, making like this ever more powerful. And you want to change something, you do, Virgo, here. We talked about, yeah, the ruler there. And let's look at this. Yeah. And the sun is in your ninth house of purpose. Okay. So in case you want to see Virgo, you are right. Where is my little pen? Where's my pen at? It doesn't show up here. hmm Here it is. Okay. And so here you are on the ascendant, right? And something's changing. Something's been you've kind of been moving away from something for about 16, 15, 16 months because the South Node is in your house, is in your first house, right? So, we have, where was I a second ago? Um, yeah, the sun is in your ninth house of purpose, growth, and expansion. We kind of talked about that. Yeah, we did. So something is very important there too. Um, you may feel that you need to grow or kind of expand or something, or that there's some purpose here that is very important for you. And it may have to do with, Taurus, right? Taurus themes, which is financial material gain, or or kind of how you feel about yourself, right? The sun is how you feel about yourself, the sense of self, how you shine, how you it can be how you show yourself to the world as well, your talents, your shine, and how you lead your life. And in Taurus, that is self-worth. So there could be right. All right, so you're letting go of the unfamiliar you are because we have Venus. Well, the sun is trining this, making this easier to your, to your sign here where the South Node sits. This is easier for you to see something about yourself and let something go, right? And move away from the old. It can be wounds. It can be family wounds. It can be just something that you created stagnation and, like you're like, that's done. This does represent the past, that South Node. And the sun is trining. We also have Venus squaring the South Node. Venus is ruling your second house of self-worth. And Venus has a lot to do with Taurus. It is the ruler of Taurus where the sun sits. So Venus is near 10th house of career or how you show yourself to the world, your status, um, the authority you have over your own life. That's where Venus is. And it's been shaken up. It's been a little bit shook up here with Uranus, which is about change. I'll have a video on that in a couple of days. But Venus here is, and this video will come out after that though, but Venus here is supporting Uranus as well. Venus rules your second house of relationships, partnerships, any type of partnerships. We have this eighth house transformation go, or, a lot of transformation here with Mars and Aries here in the eighth house. And Venus is ruling your second, and it is also ruling this ninth house of purpose. Look at that. So, there's something going on here, maybe a status change, something like that. But Venus is supporting you. Maybe it's supporting your career. That's a possibility. But this looks like it has a lot to do with your purpose or your sense of self and growth and expansion. And yeah, it does. And of course, the transforming energy of the moon, right? Yeah. And so, yeah, and Venus is challenging you to continue or to let go of the past, the familiar past, and move toward this North Node, which is now in your seventh house of relationships. Wow. So this could definitely be, maybe your perspective on relationships, partnerships, any type. Could be how you create balance and harmony in your life. You could be changing here in a big way with the sun in your ninth house of purpose and Mars ruling your eighth house of transformation. Yeah, big time. All right. So, yeah. And that sun that is, squaring the south node over here, that is challenge. Where's the sun? It's trining, actually, trining the south node. This is helping you to have courage and see yourself like it's better for me. It's kind of easy for me to leave the past behind. And we already had Venus doing that, is making a square here. So there's a challenge here, but there's ease here for you to move away from the past or the familiar, maybe to let wounds go, but it is affecting in some way. It looks like it's affecting your sense of self, yeah, and maybe how you see relationships as well. And so now we have Jupiter, and Jupiter sits in your 11th house of in future inspirations, during this full moon of transformation. So Jupiter is supporting you, and it is because it's being trined by the moon from your third house, which, your third house here, right, in which is in transformative Scorpio. And so that trine is helping you to see that you can really grow and reach or that you're expanding, and you're going to reach like these or move into these future aspirations that you want. That 11th house too, where Jupiter sits, it's about gains as well. Usually from the 10th house of status or how you show yourself to the world, right? Or career. But this is a beautiful trine here. And it is the future here is being highlighted for you, and this major change for you as well. And asking you to embrace change, right? Uranus is in your 10th house of social status. That is, and your career. That is changing how you see yourself or how you show yourself to the world. And that will be happening for the next 7 years, right? Yeah, Mercury, your natal Mercury. Yeah, did we talk about that? I think we did. Mercury rules your first house and your 10th house. Yes, we did. So it's really looking good for you here. I feel like we also have though, before we end the reading here, um, yeah, we had Mars making a square to Jupiter. I didn't talk about that. Mars is the ruler of here's the square of the full moon. And here's Mars squaring Jupiter. This is telling you to, in your eighth house of, transformation, telling you to let something transform or end and regenerate. It can be your attitude about the future. Definitely your attitude about, what you want for yourself, your future aspirations. That's challenging you to do that, to take action, this square. And this can be, also like something to do with your emotional needs. Here is Cancer or nurturing, right? Or maybe family as well. But this has to do with something about your deep needs here. Yeah, because Mars is in your eighth house of depth and intensity. Wow, that's a big deal. And so we also have a trine to Lilith. Let's take a look at that. Where is Lilith? Yeah, Mars is here, and your Mercury. Is it Mercury doing that as well? Let's turn off the pen. No, Mercury's not doing the trine. Yeah, it sure looks like it though. Let's look at Lilith and see what's being. Yeah, Mercury and Mars are both trining Black Moon Lilith. This is your shadow, right? The shadow is what we need to face, so it'll go away, right? We don't want to be ruled by the shadow. We want to be under in the light, right? This is our higher self. So that can be our shadow. It's sometimes things we don't like about ourselves, but it's more about confronting and facing the shadow, like um and stepping into your raw power. Lilith wanted power and to be authentic, and I don't care about what anybody thinks. It can be about sex. It's also this is in your fourth house of emotional needs here. It looks like you're letting go of something that might have been hindering your kind of it's easy. Mars is helping you to do that. The ruler of the full moon, the transformative, helping you to do that. It's also in Sagittarius, and Sagittarius is your philosophy, and it can represent your growth and transformation as well because it's linked to the ninth house, right? And that Jupiter that is ruling um, Sagittarius here is in your 11th house of future aspirations. So it's really looking good for you, Virgo. I hope you enjoyed my content. If you'd like a reading with me, check out the description box below. I have all kinds of great readings. They are all geared for growth and reaching the North Star, really, which is the North Node, right? This is our higher potential. And Jupiter is also associated with that, right? And so is transformation. Yeah, it sure is. So thanks so much for joining me here. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the little bell in order to, receive my next the notification. And yeah, everything is below in the description box. I have a lot of great readings. I have psychic readings as well. I do psychic work, yeah, all the time on my, via my tarot channel. But yeah, thank you so much, Virgo.